believe in right person, wrong time.
Genuinely, you're better off being alone. It isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference.
But it was hate at one point. Done a girl talk with the charcuterie board in a minute. Obviously, we're joined by Sahar today.
Hi, recurring guest as well. Not as violent as Brianna's on my channel.
Yeah, honestly, if you like my videos or if like I'm not posting, just go to Sahar's channel.
Watch my last 3 videos.
It's my second channel at this point.
It should just be called Brianna 2.0.
No, honestly, just change the name to Brianna and Sahar.
Yeah, literally.
We have some juicy girl talk questions today. I'm so excited. Also, we have some things to update you guys on. So, I actually did share a little bit about the situationship update in my last video, but we'll dive into it a little bit, maybe. We'll see.
The update in my boy situation, just watch mine.
Yeah, they're not good updates.
They're not.
I'm gonna give you that little nugget of information right now.
If they were good updates, I wouldn't seem as broken right now as I do.
They're definitely updates.
Yeah, they're updates.
Someone said, what happened with your situationship and why did it end?
This is juicy.
I'm trying to figure out what I want to share, because like part of me wants to share less online, but then part of me is like,
I think you need to share as much as you can about this one because you already kind of kept them in the loop, and then in the future be more private.
That's true. I mean, obviously, like with distance, it's gonna be hard. Technically, he was supposed to be here in Toronto right now as we speak.
Still?
I think so. Tomorrow was supposed to be his last day.
Oh wow.
He did not get on his flight. Spoiler alert.
No kidding. Come out.
Oh yeah, he's here with us right now. He's in the room. No, he's very much not here. But what is here is my boxes. They finally arrived. Basically, things were good until they weren't. We got into a big fight, and after that fight, I very much violently hated this man. Like, I despise this man. I texted all my friends. He said to me, I'm never speaking to this man again. I hated this man. But since then, I don't hate him. We're pals. No, we're not.
Mutual. There's just mutual.
There's like we've gotten past the anger and hurt part, and now it's like, okay, I'm like a little indifferent. Basically, these boxes forced us to have to interact because they were literally in his apartment, and there were just things that we had to speak about, so we were kind of forced to do that. Whereas if we didn't have this, I probably would have just blocked him and like never talked to him again. As much as these boxes have been a pain, I'm glad that we didn't end on a terrible note.
I feel like you guys both kind of just accepted like you're not the one for each other.
Yeah.
You're clearly like have different viewpoints.
Also, like with the distance, it would have had to be something really perfect to make it work.
Like you guys actually would have had to been soulmates.
It was very clearly not perfect at a certain point that it just made sense to be like, okay, let's call it a quits.
And that's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. And I'm really happy for you that it ended on good terms, because that would have been way better for you than ending on like a hating. Like hate isn't fun. Hating really not fun.
And I think if we weren't forced to interact the amount that we did, I would still have more of a bitterness towards him.
Or resentment a little bit.
I'm honestly indifferent now.
It isn't love, it isn't hate, it's just indifference.
It really is, but it was hate at one point. What do I do if the guy I like says right person, wrong time? Do you believe in right person, wrong time?
No.
I think 90% of the time, if you're saying that, it's probably just not the right person.
Because I feel like if it's the right person, you'll do anything to kind of adapt so it will be the right time.
It doesn't mean you don't love them. It doesn't mean you don't care deeply for each other and that you didn't have an amazing connection, but that also like doesn't equal right person.
And I don't think you should hold on to that hope being like, it was just the right blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And you know, I will say I had a situation of a guy who I was obsessed with for 5 years, okay? And definitely in that moment I was thinking this is right person, wrong time. He recently hit me up again. I told you about this, right? How he called me out of the blue. We haven't spoken in 3 years. And I just kind of realized, I was like, no, as much as I still care for you to an extent, like, no, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work just because it's convenient for one person now.
There's things keeping you apart. I feel like you could say right person, wrong time, but also there's a lot of people doing long distance. If you truly, truly wanted it, he could make it work. So I don't think you should stay hung up on this person, being like, oh my god, it was right person, wrong time. Open yourself up to other people, and if it is right person, wrong time, they'll come back to you.
And sometimes I feel it's low-key disrespectful when I'm like, you thought it was the wrong time for me? This is not happening anymore. Not while I'm doing better now and you're not, you know?
How to be close with girls, but some are fake. I think this is like an interesting one for me because being close to girls comes very naturally to me. Like I'm just
I have guy friends.
Men? I don't know about them, but girls, I love girls. So I think like for me, I think the things that are important in friendships are just supporting each other. The things that you don't like about girls, the things that make them fake, make sure you're not those things. A lot of girls are really nice.
I think you also have to be careful because I remember back in the day when I was in high school, I didn't believe in the phrase like you are who you surround yourself with.
Oh, you are.
Now it's completely switched. I remember I had some people judging some of my friends for hanging out with weird people. I'm like, they're not that person just because they hang out with them. But you really do adapt to who you surround yourself with. So if you're saying everyone around you is fake, but you're continuing to stay in that group, you are also fake, or you're gonna start turning fake.
Slowly you're gonna pick up traits that they do, or like if they're treating you a certain way, you're gonna start treating them that way back.
Or you're just gonna think certain behavior is normal and then maybe project that into your other friendships, your other relationships. So if you're feeling like the entire group you're with is fake,
you're better off being alone than being with fake people. And just put yourself out there, be friendly, be supportive, root people on. I think a lot of girls are looking for friends. I think it's very rare to meet a girl who's like, no, I don't want any friends, like I don't want to meet anyone. Like a lot of us want that. Just be open and put yourself out there, and I think you'll meet really good friends. There's so many nice people out there.
I really agree with Brianna in saying you're better off being alone than with people who are fake. You will never gain anything from bad friends or from fake friends. Like genuinely, you're better off being alone.
And it might be lonely and it might be shitty at the time, but in the end, you're gonna meet way better people.
Once you find comfort in being alone, and once you find comfort in having no friends, you're not gonna be afraid to have no friends, as in you won't put up with bullshit. Because you're like, I have nothing to lose. I'm happy being alone, or I'm happy with you in my life. But if you're gonna act like this, and this, I don't care for it.
I agree. How do I come across as not boring? I feel like I bore him. I feel like if you're feeling that way, it's because you're nervous and you're not being yourself. People are not boring. Like no one's boring. Everyone has their cute little quirks. They have their weird little things that they do. Like Sahar, for example, loves pacing. We acknowledged this today. That like we were, you know, doing some work, planning, scheming, doing some things.
Something we can't tell you guys about.
Pacing. Like I'm like, girl, you have not sat down for like the last 40 minutes.
Like I think better when I'm standing and because I was editing a video, so I needed to like pace because I feel like my blood flows better and I just do the. But this is a thing that a lot of people have pointed out. But Brianna thinks it's a cute, fun quirk of mine. Yeah. Other people say I've given them anxiety by standing up.
Okay, I think it's a cute little quirk. But I feel like things like that are what make people unique, and it's funny and it's lovable. Charming and lovable. Yeah. And I think if you're just trying to hide all your little quirks, you're gonna come across as boring.
Just let your quirks show. If you have a weird laugh, let that show. If you're like really talkative, let that show. Like it's exactly what Brianna said. If you're feeling like you're boring, it's because you're nervous and you're like hiding that about yourself. No one is boring. Not a single person is boring. Even someone you might meet once, you'll think they're boring. You get to know them for 6 months. They're the most interesting person you'll ever meet. Humans are like onions. You just gotta kind of peel. You're gonna see there's different levels to them. One
way I think I won actor over in the beginning is I would just make the most unhinged confessions to him. Like I would tell him like the weirdest little facts about myself, say like the weirdest, most embarrassing things. Like I would just blurt it out. Like I didn't care. Definitely, like I was saying some weird I can't lie.
See, when I do that, I get ghosted. So.
Oh, really? No, I feel like it's like charming.
Well, honestly, not ghosted, but I just feel I'm like, well, did I just trauma dump right there?
Okay, not like trauma dump, like just like silly little
So if you were me, you'd be like, oh, I pace all the time.
Well, like, for example, when he was coming over for the first time, Alex took a video of me like freaking out and being nervous. And then on our like second or third date when we were more comfortable with each other, I showed him the video. Even though technically it's embarrassing, I'm like freaking out that he's coming over. But it's like, I feel like when you're vulnerable like that and you show like these cute little quirks, like they like that. Like I don't even remember all the things I was telling him. Anything that popped into my head I was telling him.
There's no filter there.
There's no filter.
Listen, that's a charming trait. It is.
Yeah, I think just say all the real things about you that maybe you feel like you should suppress, but don't suppress them. That's what makes you lovable and fun.
The things that make you different make you more likable. Because realistically, do you want to be like everyone else? Everybody on earth is capable of being quiet and nervous and whatever. No one else is capable of blurting random things about themselves. Not everybody's capable of pacing all the time for some reason.
He also said that I came off as way more confident than other girls that he's dated in the past.
Because she wasn't nervous to be like, this is a video of me being nervous right before you came over last time.
I also love the phrase, interests make you interesting.
Oh, that's cute. That is true. Like back in the day, I used to like not like telling people that I like love Taylor Swift because I thought they'd think it's weird. And I don't just love her, I'm like psychotic. Brianna mentioned today, she was like, you buy new merch of her every month, and I was like, yeah, that is fact. And now people like to tease me about it, but it's never in a diss way to be like, oh my, you like Taylor Swift.
Also, maybe like, not everyone will like that about you, but you're gonna find people that do.
And also that shouldn't be a deal breaker.
Yeah.
You're gonna hate me because I like Taylor Swift. I hate you because
honestly,
you
it's
don't
a good way to weed out the bad ones.
If you don't like Taylor Swift, just literally walk around with a red flag, just wave it around, make it clear.
Okay, this one I feel like you might have some insight on. What are the most important things to know before moving out? I moved out a while ago, but you just moved out, and I feel like I helped you through that a little bit.
One, never get north-facing windows.
Oh, okay, these are things I taught you. Honestly, never get north-facing windows. South-facing or like
east. West is bad too, apparently.
Okay,
east and south are the best one.
You need sunlight or else you will be
violently depressed.
Learn that the hard way.
You'll get sunlight in the morning, and then after 12, you're done.
Yeah.
You're finished.
So she found some apartments that she liked, and I was like, no, I don't like the way these windows are facing.
Yeah, and I needed her because honestly, I wouldn't have known. I would have gotten the darkest apartment ever.
Yeah.
Now, bro, I got a south-facing window. I literally get sun from 12 to sunset. Like, I literally am living my best life, and it's always bright. But what I would say before moving out, it really depends. Like, I moved out alone. Like, I have a place alone. I'm not like living with anyone. One thing, make sure you have enough money saved. When I moved out in college, I had like no money. Do you know how hard life was for me? Like, it was so hard. Like, you are gonna underestimate how much you're gonna pay.
There's so many fees that you don't expect, or little things that you're like, this didn't work, we need to charge you for this instead, or like, you got charged extra this month for this, and it's like, what? Like,
I pay a certain amount for my rent, and then I'm probably paying an extra $200 to $300 a month for other things like hydro, water, heat, internet, like all these things that like you don't even consider. So even if you think you got like a good deal on an apartment.
Also, okay, my hydro is normally like $40, but my toilet's been running, and my hydro was $200 this month.
Your hydro, 200?
200. Just because my toilet, I guess, like, I've been fixing it. I've been literally taking the top off, like, jiggling it, fixing it. But I guess sometimes I don't fix it, like, 100% of the time. 200. So clearly someone needs to come look at my toilet because I'm not doing that again.
Girl, you just gotta make a habit of emailing your landlord.
I know, there's too many things piling up.
If you're moving out alone, mentally prepare to, like, you have to have a lot of discipline, and you have to be really motivated to do your work, do what you gotta do whatever. Because it's just you. And you have to learn how to have a system for yourself, a routine for yourself. If you have roommates, you have to mentally prepare for life with roommates. Because it's so different.
They're both their own struggle.
Yeah. Living alone, it's just one thing. It's a lot on you. It's a lot on you. Because you have to do everything.
And living with someone, you have to learn to compromise. It's a lot of compromise.
A lot of compromise. Weirdly enough, it's like, you know when you live with roommates and it's like, wash your dishes, you need to clean this. Like, you clean the bathroom, I'm gonna do this. It like aggravates you to another extent, but when you live alone, it doesn't aggravate you because it's all you. Like, all the mess is you. If your sink is dirty, it's you. If your dishes are dirty,
my apartment's usually clean, but there's sometimes where it's terrible, and I could never let it get to that point if I had roommates. But because it's just me, I'm like, I know I'm gonna clean it.
Yeah, and I'm
just gonna do it on my time.
So there's a lot of benefits of living alone. Also, a lot of benefits of living with roommates because you do just have like, it is kind of nice always having a friend you can even just like lounge around with, talk to about whatever. Like. But then there's also a lot of downsides to roommates. There's a lot of downsides of living alone. You just have to mentally prepare for whichever one. Like Brianna said, if you're living with roommates, be ready to compromise a lot. If you're living alone, be ready to self-manage everything. There's so much you can learn from living alone, and there's so much you can learn from living with roommates. Do it. I would honestly say, like, I think you learn the most once you move out of your parents' house. But
I've grown up so much since then. It's actually crazy how much it forces you to like be a little more responsible and like think about things in a different way. I also think it was really beneficial to my relationship with my parents. Me and my mom really started butting heads towards the end of me living there, and it was like okay, it's time for me to go because we were just in each other's space. We both worked from home, so it was, you know, her typing was really loud sometimes.
Like, I'm filming it.
And she'd be like, okay, well, I'm typing. Okay, I kind of like this question. I don't know what my advice is gonna be yet, but how do I stop basing my future on boys during senior year? I think it's just important, especially senior year of high school. You have so much life ahead of you. I feel like when you're in high school, you're like, this is my life. My life is over after high school. But it's like, oh no, girl.
The life starts at the end of high school.
Literally, the best times of your life, the most growth you're ever gonna do, the most change you're ever gonna have is these upcoming years. Like your 20s, I mean, I'm only 5 years in. And it's like I've changed so much. I can't even imagine being with my high school boyfriend now. And I think it's fine. If you're in love and you see that connection, treat it with respect, value it, but also don't hold yourself back because of it. There is a lot of dating after high school and finding
More
different people and growing. But if you're basing your future off of it, I assume that there's obviously very strong feelings. I just think you would be doing your future self a disservice by basing your life around him.
Listen, I was someone who's boy crazy in high school. I did not have a boyfriend when I was in senior year. Your senior year is your last year to kind of have fun with your friends. If you're gonna focus on anything, I would say focus on your friends. After high school, you do drift a lot from a lot of the friends. Like, so many of this one friend I had, I was like, she's coming to my wedding. Like, I know for a fact we're gonna be friends. I literally have not spoken a lick of a word to her in the past.
Oh my god, no, my high school best friend, I was like, she's gonna be my maid of honor. That girl, maid of honor. Haven't spoken to her in a couple years.
Yeah. So I think this is your time to kind of like, not to reference you're on your own kid, but I feel like the line of like, make the friendship bracelets, take the moment, taste it. That's really how I would embody like senior year. Just have fun with your friends, enjoy it, take in your last year of high school. Like, sorry, if you're offended by this, your high school sweetheart is probably not gonna be like your husband or whatever. Again, exceptions to the rule, but like.
I think that's what high school relationships should be. Fun, learning experiences,
yeah.
opening yourself up to another person, maybe figuring out what you like and are attracted to. But most of the time, not your husband.
Make your mistakes, live your life, but don't focus on just boys the whole time.
I think that's like the worst thing you can do. Like, boys are fun, but there's so much more to life.
Truly.
Dealing with being single at 25, me, while all your friends are in committed relationships. You're not 25, but this embodies both of our lives right now. Everyone around us.
We are the only single
up.
ones in our friend groups.
Okay, I have like a couple other friends that are single.
Okay.
The main ones,
yeah,
wiped up.
So that is the epitome of us. How do you deal?
I mean, I think
charcuterie boards and wine.
Yeah. If you're going to have friends like that, it's also really nice to have friends that are single, because your friends can get very caught up and they have their go-to person. They have their person to lean on, their person to give them comfort, their person that, you know, maybe if they're having an issue, they'll go to them. Whereas when you're single, you don't have that. So you kind of need to find your people that can be that for you.
To an extent too, when your friend has like a boyfriend, it's like they kind of find their new, not best friend, but they find their...
But they do.
Yeah. And at the end of the day, if they find their husband, that is who they're gonna marry. That is gonna be their best friend. Like, you know what I mean? So it's like, they won't understand your need for them the way...
Yeah.
Because they don't need you as much. Like, now they have their person, so you're like, you need your single friends.
I think that's why like a lot of people who are single are friends with each other, and a lot of people who are in relationships are friends with other couples.
Yeah.
Like, that seems to be a pattern, because it's like you need the same amount of things from each other. The dependent is like equal.
How do you deal? This.
You just find friends that match your energy and are in the same place as life with you, and you just...
there's nothing wrong with it.
Oh yeah, like I still have my friends who are in relationships, but there's a place and a time for each type of friendship, I think.
Like, we easily both could be with someone right now. I know someone in my head right now who would definitely date me right this second.
But we'd have to lower our standards.
Exactly.
I would rather be single than in an unhealthy relationship or situationship. Based on my relationships that I've been in, I'm very happy that I left all of them. I don't have one that got away. I envy the people that are in healthy relationships, and I hope one day that I will have that. But
and we will.
Until that is presented to me, I will continue to be single. This question's so funny to me.
Yeah.
How to stay single. Have our attitude.
Yeah.
Have our
standards.
perspective. Listen to everything we're saying right now.
You will be single.
Like, if you're trying to get wiped up, I don't know if we're the right people to come to, because we will tell you to break up with them and leave them if they do anything wrong.
One thing out of line will be like, end it.
There's very, very few people in my life where I'm like, you guys have a healthy relationship. I support you. I think you guys are really good
The
for each
ideal
other.
relationship. That's how I want to be. Very
That's
rare.
like very rare to find. Have your standards, and
you'll be single.
if you're not single, that's a great thing, but you'll probably be single. Do you hate all your ex situationships, or are you on good terms? Because I hate mine. We kind of talked about this a little bit with my last guy, but I would say most of mine I'm actually on decent terms with. I don't think I hate my first ex, and that's it. I hate that man.
No, because he's terrible. I can't blame you.
I'll never not hate that man. Especially, I think, because he was my first. He took my virginity, like my first relationship, and he was just the worst. He was awful, terrible. There were no redeeming qualities about that man. So I will forever hate him. But everyone else, even though they've maybe wronged me or they have their flaws, I don't hate them. I'm either indifferent or I'm like, we're fine.
See, I think a lot of mine ended on kind of bad terms. I don't hate them. I really don't. But Do I love them? No. Like, I think I'm
No, I don't love any
I
of
feel like
mine.
if we're on a scale and it's like neutral, love, hate, I feel like I'm in between like neutral and neutral/hate. Like, I'm not completely neutral, but I don't hate you.
I'm not completely neutral on all of them.
I feel like I'm pretty neutral with a lot of them, but there's
Yeah.
a couple that I'm like, you're f***ing terrible.
I feel like most of mine, I don't want bad things to happen to them, but if they won the lottery or like dated someone famous, I'd be really mad. That's
Yeah,
where
I
I'm
would be
at.
so pissed.
No, if a guy that I used to talk to started dating someone really cool, oh, that would hurt
One, no,
so
the
bad.
lottery would piss me off the most,
Oh,
to
that
be
would,
honest.
yeah. Like, you were broke when I dated you. Where
Yeah.
was this? I deserve the
You want
lottery
to go
version of you.
50-50 on the date. Let's be so for real.
We both are introverts, so I want to ask, how do you deal with that, like when you go out with your friends? I think just keeping it to, I was gonna say not a minimum, but like making sure you have time for yourself. I think for me at least, I still enjoy hanging out with my friends. I love being social, but if it's too much, I start to get like
So tired.
almost hangry. I just know that, you know, if we're going on a vacation or something, maybe I need to go on a little walk by myself or like
Or
go
be
off on my
alone.
own and just like lay by the pool for a bit. I just need my time to recharge.
I think that's why it's really good that Brianna and I live alone, and I think that's also why I think we can handle living alone. If you're an extrovert, I think you need to have roommates.
Yeah.
Because you will get energy from being around people, whereas you and I get energy from being alone.
I mean, I can stay in this apartment by myself for
Deadass.
days.
That, like, I'll spend a whole weekend in my apartment. I won't step foot out of my apartment and I'll be fine.
Same.
But like, even like when I go out, if there's a lot of socializing, I'll need a whole day to just stay home and not do anything. I think the biggest thing is just giving yourself time to recharge. And if you have roommates, you need to just like kind of take yourself into your room sometimes. But because we live alone, it's really nice because if I feel like, oh my god, I was doing so much this weekend, or even when like her and I went on that trip in like to Muskoka and it was just constant socializing, constant whatever, like her and I both like needed time to just like fuck off and just like be alone in our rooms, in our homes, in our whatever. Like, give yourself that time.
What's your most crazy male encounter? Do you have like a really crazy story? Like even like a guy hitting on you or something? I've definitely had guys make me extremely uncomfortable.
Oh my god, I actually do have one. This one's not that crazy. So there's this one guy, I just kept running into him everywhere. I ran into him at 3 different bars, okay? And we're like the same background, like we're both Uzbek, so we kind of like talked about that at the beginning. And like it was fine, but I just kept fucking running into him and it was just like not the vibe.
Yeah.
And then the 3rd time I ran into him, he just kept being like, I think like the gods are like telling us something. Like I think like a higher power is telling us something that we keep running into each other. Like this has to be fate. And as he was saying this, he was kind of just like spitting in my face while we're talking.
No.
And I was like, I don't know how to tell you this, but like you're just not my type.
Definitely not
Like,
the
it's-
gods.
It's not. I was like, I don't know. It's like weird timing. Maybe you're a stalker. I don't know what to tell you, but I was like, I'm not marrying you. That's one of the weirder ones. I don't know if I definitely have crazier ones. I just can't remember them right now. Do you have any?
I know like when I've gone out to bars, there's definitely a lot. I'm just blanking on them because I feel like I low-key like,
It's like when
what's it
someone-
called when you bury it?
I don't know, but I know what you're talking
Yeah.
about. It's like kind of like tell the class a fun fact about yourself, and now we're like
Suddenly
screwed.
there's no fun facts.
Suddenly I'm the most boring person on fucking earth.
I remember when I was in Hawaii one time, I was just like at this cafe and this guy sat down like at my table with me. It was just like me alone and he started like telling me the most insane facts about himself. I wish I could remember, but I was just like, oh man, and he offered me. So he was going out of town and he's like, I'll let you have the keys to my house.
What the what is that move?
But me and my friends ended up going on a hike with him. Like he came with us and stuff and like he was fine. I think I kissed him.
Oh, okay.
It was just it was maybe love bomb-y, but it was definitely a little bit of a crazy day. How to feel less insecure in bed. We've talked about this before. I'm my most confident when I am naked.
See, when I'm naked, I hate myself, so we're very opposite in this sense.
But I just get so much like positive feedback when I'm naked.
Yeah.
You should be getting a lot of positive feedback, so I feel like I'm very confident when I'm naked.
I agree with Brie. If they're not making you feel amazing when you're
Yeah.
like vulnerable and naked, like
Yeah.
they're probably just like it's not the
You're
one.
honestly with the wrong person if they're making you feel that way. So I think if you're going into a situation with a guy, you should be comfortable enough where you're not overly insecure. Like you should already have reassurance from them that, you know, they're interested, they find you attractive, whatever. And then once you're in that situation, they should continue to, you know, tell you how beautiful you are and like hype you up and whatever. If you are too insecure, you don't have to do it. I think just wait until you feel comfortable.
And if the person isn't making you feel secure, I think it's just
Yeah.
the wrong person. Like, no one should make you feel insecure in those situations, you know?
I also think that it could just boil down to self-love in general. Like maybe you feel that way in the bedroom, but like you might also feel that way outside of the bedroom. I feel like it can be carried into that situation,
you're definitely
but it might just be a deep down like you're insecure and you need to, you know, work on self-love and telling yourself that you're beautiful and, you know, try a lot of these cheesy things online where they're like, tell yourself you're beautiful in the mirror or like write down all these cheesy little things about yourself. They seem lame.
And listen, I'm definitely one that I don't like myself naked, which is like very, like, you know, very opposite of what Brianna's saying. So I get what you're saying to like whatever anyone's going through if they feel insecure. Like I completely get it. But it really just does come down to like the person. If a person isn't making you feel amazing about yourself, then it's probably not the right person. If someone's not doing anything to make you feel better or whatever, doing what Brianna says where she's getting hyped the fuck up. And if you're not ready, you're not ready. It's okay. You know, you can do things with clothes on. If you want to just wear a big t-shirt and do that, you're welcome to do that. Like no one's stopping you. Like, you know, you're okay.
If that person wants to, you know, have sex with you or be in bed with you, they're already attracted to you. You already know that this person is into your body. They like the way you look. They like you as a person. They want to be there. So that is like confirmation
enough.
Yeah, that should be confirmation for you to feel good. Having guy friends, I've gotten a lot of trauma from those guy friends, but I don't hear those guys talk shit about girls' bodies. Okay, I feel like that concludes this video. I wish we like ate more of this, but we'll snack on it after.
What do you mean? We ate so much.
I got so distracted talking, but I love the meat.
Okay, well you can snack on it now. Or save it for later. Save your little rose meats.
Love you guys. Check out Sahar's video. It was very fun and fresh. And
I give my boy updates, so if you want my boy updates, they're in that.
Let me know if you want more videos with her because I'm aggressively on her channel. Yeah. So I feel like you need to be on my channel.
I just like she owns my channel, so I think it's time.
It's honestly my second channel, so feel free to subscribe to that channel.
It's like my part-time shift is yours, but you're full-time. You have 2 jobs. You're single mom.
That works too